Hey, what's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This is JB right here, host of the Behind the Bench podcast network and channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew. I'm talking about Shad, Kelvin, and Jermaine. And for everyone who is tuning in, I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help this podcast become the best that it can be. Now check this out. Check this out, everyone. There's a team that has totally revamped its roster this offseason. And I'm talking about the Phoenix Suns. Now, this is a team that went to the NBA Finals in 2021, faced the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, went up 2-0 in this series. And they succumbed to the greatness of Giannis. And it took Giannis to deliver arguably the greatest time block in finals history to tie that series at 2-up. And then the greatest closeout game I ever seen for the championship in a clinching game. Giannis 50 points. 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, converted 17 out of 19 free throws. And that was the only reason that Phoenix fell short, because if Giannis would not have delivered at that level, all-time level, in that Game 6 in Milwaukee, the series goes back to Phoenix for Game 7, and Phoenix would have won that championship. And then the following season, they achieved the single season franchise win total of 64 wins, surpassing what the Phoenix Suns achieved in 1993 when Charles Barkley led the Suns to a then franchise win total of 62 wins. And then somewhere along the line, Phoenix began to lose its momentum because they lost in the Western Conference semifinals in 7 games to the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson and the like, Dorian Finney-Smith, Max Kleber. And they lost at home in Game 7 in resounding fashion. And then, after acquiring Kevin Durant mid-season, they succumbed to the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals in 6 games in resounding fashion, and lost to the eventual newly crowned NBA champions, Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the like. So they have transformed the entire roster and replaced head coaches. Monty Williams, who coached the team for the past 4 or 5 seasons, and hired Frank Vogel to assume the coaching helm. And with Kevin Durant on board, they have, in one clean swoop, traded Chris Paul to Washington, who eventually was traded to the Golden State Warriors. And then they trade Cameron Payne to the San Antonio Spurs. And since then, they have acquired Bradley Beal, who's in his prime, who a couple seasons ago won the NBA scoring crown. And they have made multiple moves, bringing on reserves such as Terrence Ross, which they did mid-season a couple months ago. And they're trying to, construct a bench that can complement the starting unit. Now, the thing is that's missing out of this to me, well, first of all, what Phoenix is doing now, revamping a whole roster, trading away players who were part of their core that helped Phoenix achieve enormous success over these past couple years. And they're doing what the Lakers did 4 years ago and replacing their young core talent after a superstar comes in and takes control of the whole franchise and capitalize on the assets that the Lakers had, draft picks, to try to bring in one superstar after the next. And it's the same thing that Phoenix is doing. Maybe not to the same degree, but it's the same model. It's the same approach. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of it. And now don't get me wrong, I've been a huge fan of Kevin Durant over the years. Tremendous fan of Kevin Durant. And I like Bradley Beal. But like I said, in this culture of win now, you find teams making these moves, man, and they going for broke. And nothing is guaranteed. But to me, the problem that Phoenix has had the last couple years, they're not utilizing DeAndre Ayton properly. And I think what happens is, when you're not using, now he was one of the best young centers in basketball. And he gets frustrated and he loses interest. And I'm not trying to make any excuses saying that he should sit down on the team. But at the same time, he's looking at it like, well, wait a minute. I've been here before all these other guys been here, outside of Devin Booker. And you bringing these guys in, and they going to take my offense away from me, and it makes them look worse than what it really is. So that being said, Phoenix will be a contender this coming season, but the goal is, as well as a lot of these teams that's going for broke, win now, they have to clinch the championship to say all this is a success. When I mean championship, I'm talking about 82-game season, 16-game playoff, where you have to win at home and on the road. That's what I'm talking about. But like I said, I'm a fan of Kevin Durant ever since his college years at the University of Texas. And he's one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. And he has won 2 championships. And I do believe he was the best individual player in basketball pretty much from the time he won his league MVP, his only league MVP in 2014, up until 2018, when he won the second championship with Golden State. And then he suffered an Achilles injury in 2019. So let's say for about a good 4 years, I thought Kevin Durant was the best individual player in basketball. But he's older now. You can see signs of age and attrition catching up on KD. But Devin Booker is in his prime, so he will probably be the primary scorer for the team. And he's probably the best two-guard in basketball. And then Bradley Beal's in his prime, and he can get you 30 on a given night. So it seems like they're trying to bolster the roster offensively, but they need some defensive interior presence, and hopefully that's what DeAndre Ayton will provide for them. And I think it would be a mistake if they trade him. A good center is a dime a dozen in today's league, and when you have a player like DeAndre Ayton who really hasn't reached his prime, you have to run some sort of offense through him to balance the attack so you don't become predictable and become so one-dimensional come playoff time. And that's going to be Phoenix's biggest challenge with me. Vogel, who is known for, constructing a great defensive scheme, I'm sure he's looking to improve the team in that area. So, Phoenix is going for it all. New ownership, new coach, a new roster in a lot of ways. So they're going for it. So we'll see what happens. So I just want to drop that real quick. This is JB. Until next time, BTB, Behind the Bench.